Welcome to Biology My Passion. I am Soumya Harikrishna. We are learning the chapter tissues. We learn plant tissues in detail. Today we will discuss animal tissues. Animal tissues are classified into 4 different categories. Epithelial tissue, which are actually the covering tissue of our body. Then connective tissue, which are doing special function of connecting different parts of the body. Then nervous tissue, involved in our control and coordination mechanism, and muscular tissue helping us to move. So let us see one by one. So the first type of tissue is epithelial tissue, or the protective or the covering tissue. So let us see the characteristics of this. Covers most organs and cavities. Almost all organs in our body, whether it is major organs like stomach, intestine, etc., or lung alveoli or blood capillaries, mouth cavity, esophagus, or our outer skin, everything is epithelium. Keeps different body systems separate. Suppose there is no membrane, all systems will become a single one and there is no separation. So this is keeping or defining each system separating from the other. Tightly packed and continuous. We know that suppose you are covering something, if you don't properly cover, it will not serve the function, right? So here also it should be complete and continuous, otherwise its function of protection will not be possible. Then small amount of cementing material, because cells are stuck together by small material or amount of cementing substance. This is as thin as possible in case of epithelial tissues. Then no intercellular space. So since it is a covering tissue, there should not be space or gap in between, otherwise microbes can enter. So it should be a continuous layer without any space. Then regulates exchange of materials. Means anything that is going in and out should cross this membrane. For example, suppose the food digested in your intestine is absorbed into the blood. So it has to cross the walls, or the air taken into your lungs should go to the blood. So everywhere the substances have to cross this epithelial, one or the other form of epithelial tissue, in order to go from one place to the other. It is sometimes between one organ to the other, or sometimes between body and the external environment. But always there is a crossing happening through the epithelial membrane. Extracellular fibrous membrane is there. For example, these tissues are attached to the previous layer by a small layer of the basement membrane. For example, if our skin, imagine if it is not properly fixed, you can just scratch, the skin would go off, right? So there is a thin layer of basement membrane for these cells, so that this tissue is attached to the underlying tissues. Let us now discuss different types of epithelial tissue. Based on their function, their structure and their arrangements are different. So epithelial tissues, generally speaking, can be classified into simple epithelium and a compound epithelium. The difference lies in the number of layers. If there is only a single layer of cells, then it is called a simple epithelium, whereas many layers are there, that is called a compound epithelium. One after the other, the layers are arranged. Okay. So if you classify the epithelial tissue, we have 4 different types of epithelial tissue, each having different shapes. Squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, and glandular epithelium. The first is squamous epithelium. Squamous epithelium means they are flat kind of cells, as flat as possible. If you have done the practicals of your human cheek cell, or if you have seen the slides of that or virtual lab, you must have come across this kind of flat kind of cells. They are very thin and single layered. Okay, so especially in blood vessels, we know capillaries and all, very thin wall they should have, because through the capillaries oxygen and carbon dioxide should exchange, and also other substances to pass. So there are many layers, means diffusion will be difficult. So to enable the easy diffusion, they are only one cell thick, as thin as possible. Or the alveoli of our lung. Inside our lungs, we have millions of balloon-like structures holding the air that we are breathing in. Their exchange takes place. So these alveoli are, you can imagine, like the soap bubbles. So like a thin layer of single cell layered wall they have. So that is called a simple squamous epithelium, because only one layer. So that diffusion, because even alveoli, exchange of gases taking place. So it should be as thin as possible. Whereas when it comes to our esophagus and mouth cavity, when you open your mouth, you have your buccal cavity. The inner cheek cell is also made up of squamous epithelial cells, but there it is multi-layered, not only one layer, because one layer means it can go off fast, right? So multi-layered or compound squamous epithelium you will see within the buccal cavity. and also in the esophagus, means the food pipe, we have the compound squamous epithelium. Over our skin, we have the type of epithelium called a stratified squamous epithelium. There also squamous epithelium, but it is multi-layered in order to avoid wear and tear. Because imagine if it is a single cell layer, if I touch or we are touching each other, this layer would go off. And lot of wear and tear happening to our external body. So layers are being removed, but new cells are being formed. We don't even realize. So that's a multi-layered structure called a stratified. Strata means layers. The soil strata you must have learned in geography, right? So stratified means layered structure. The second type of epithelial tissue is called a cuboidal. As the name suggests, they are cube shaped, not flat like this. So this is an overall view. This is from the side, they are very thin. But look at this, these are little cube-like cells. So they are meant for mainly mechanical support. That means in certain parts of our body, we have fine tubules, so for transporting substances. For example, we have salivary glands in our mouth region, so they have to bring the saliva to the buccal cavity or the oral cavity. For that, minute ducts are there. The walls of these ducts are made up of this cuboidal epithelium so that it can give some kind of support to that tube because they are very thin tubes. The same way, we have millions of tubules inside the kidney for filtering out the waste from the blood. There also these tubules have cube-like walls so that the protection or mechanical support is there. But along with mechanical support, they can do secretion and absorption also. Now coming to the next type, that is columnar epithelial cells. Columnar, the term indicates column-like or pillar-like. You can see they are very tall cells. Their main function is secretion and absorption. If you think that way, we know within the small intestine, the digestion completes. For that, lots of enzymes have to be secreted. And after that, the nutrients have to be absorbed. So absorption and secretion happening. So they are mainly found within the wall of small intestine. But there is a variant or a different type of columnar epithelium that is called a ciliated columnar epithelium. Have you heard of cilia? Cilia are small hair-like structures present on the surface of certain unicellular organisms. Here also, if the columnar cells have the cilia on top of them, it gives a brush border appearance like this. Okay? Then it is called a ciliated columnar epithelium. When do we use a brush? To clean something, right? To sweeping or cleaning, we need a brush. So when we are inhaling the air inside through our nostrils, we have fine hair inside the nostril to clear off the dust particles. But when it is going through the respiratory tract, we have bronchi, bronchioles and our fine tubules. Even within them, cilia are present. That means they have columnar ciliated epithelial cells on the walls. The cilia always beat upward, removing any dust particles and germs coming inside the lungs. So they will remove it and they bring it to the throat region where we swallow it along with our food or the saliva. In the stomach, hydrochloric acid will take care of them. So cleaning of this respiratory tract is done by the ciliated columnar epithelium. But smokers have to be very cautious because when they are taking a single puff from a cigarette, the cilia will stop beating for next 4 to 5 hours. So during that time, whatever they are inhaling, all the dust particles, smoke and other dangerous harmful germs, everything can go and settle in their lungs because cilia stop beating. Okay. Now, the last one is glandular. You have heard of several glands in your body. Glands are actually structures holding some secretions and then secrete them out. For example, tear gland secretes tear. Salivary gland secretes saliva. Or mammary gland secrete milk. So like that, different secretions are coming out from the glands or enzyme glands are there. Okay, digestive glands. So, where to hold this secretion? There should be a bag-like structure. So, this bag-like structure is formed by the folding of another epithelial membrane. For example, maybe like this, a flat membrane is there that is folding to form a cavity or a sac-like part in which the secretions can be stored. So, This modified epithelium is called a glandular epithelium. So, hope you got an overall idea about the epithelial tissues. As I already mentioned in the previous videos, whenever you learn tissues, three aspects you have to study. What is the structure, what is the function, and where is the location. So, if you learn these three aspects, your learning is complete. If you have any doubt or clarifications or suggestions, please feel free to comment in the comment box. If you like my videos, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, Biology My Passion.